the mental side of everything is, I think, the most important. I think it all starts in your head. The stories you make, the things you believe. At the end of the day, you create your own reality. The winning feelings that you can have, that's some of the best euphoria ever. It's very addicting, but then the losses can also be so bad. So sometimes you just question everything. Creating goals for yourself and knowing your priorities, I think, is very important. But above all else, having fun and enjoying life is, I think, number one, because I think if you don't have that enjoyment, everything becomes very dull. And celebrating the small wins, I think sometimes we don't necessarily savor the moment, and finding good people around you that support you, truly care about you, I think is very important.
Hi, I am Caroline Garcia.
And I am Borja Duran.
Welcome to Tennis Insider Club. This is a podcast where the top tennis players open up like never before.
From Grand Slam champions to rising stars, they tell their stories in their own words. Subscribe now on your favorite platform and don't miss an episode. Let's get started.
Welcome to Tennis Insider Club.
Thank you so much, Bianca, for being with us today. Our first question is, how did you start with tennis?
How did I start? For me, I was always a very active child. My parents basically threw me into every sport imaginable because I couldn't sit in one spot for more than 2 minutes. And so from a young age, I did ballet, dance, soccer, swimming, skating. I quite enjoyed skating, and I still skate, which is nice. And then tennis. At the age of 7, I was in Romania. My parents were kind of moving back and forth a little bit because my parents opened a business in Romania. So one summer, I had enough, I guess, of all the other sports. So I tried tennis, and I wouldn't say it was love at first sight, but I found that I was very good at it from a young age. And so I kind of just continued on that. And then we moved back to Canada, and I got more serious then. So it wasn't up until I was maybe 10 years old where I really took this, well, as seriously a 10-year-old can.
So it was probably good that you were able to experience all the sport and trying everything, literally everything.
Literally everything. I think it's good too, as a child, to experience that because you gain different skills, different life lessons in a way, and they become embedded in your brain. And I'm sure it's helped me in my tennis career.
And when you started to take it a bit more seriously, you were back in Canada at that time?
Yes.
And how did you organize? You were with your parents? Were they involved in your tennis? Or
Great question. Because I was very fortunate enough to get accepted into the Tennis Canada program. So I tried out at the age of 10, and up until the age of 18, I had a great structure with Tennis Canada, and they helped me a lot because, as you know, tennis is a very expensive sport to keep your child in. And it's not like my parents had, crazy money. They immigrated from Romania, not even knowing the language. So they really started from the bottom in a way. And for me, they've been great role models, and they still are, but in that period especially, they really persevered through all those tough times. And as a child, I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to see that. And they haven't necessarily been crazy tennis fans or anything like that. It was more me that introduced them really to the sport. I mean, they would watch big matches, finals of tournaments and stuff like that. My dad did play soccer. My mom played handball, but nothing competitive. So I'm kind of the first athlete of the family. And so they've been pretty chill. Whenever I would go to practice, they'd let me do my thing. They'd let the coach do their thing. They were never bombarding me or overbearing with certain things. But after matches, for instance, because I'm a very emotional person, sometimes, when I would lose, I would cry, and then it would be this full circle moment where my mom would start crying because I'm crying, and then my dad would start crying because both of us are crying. So there were tough moments in that sense, but their support was incredible, like growing up.
Yeah, it was not that your parents were projecting their dream of being an athlete on you, which
Zero.
is like a complicated topic also. Yeah, nice.
I know.
Yeah.
I know some players can definitely relate, but also they have the other side of things.
Yeah.
But I think it's all meant the way it's supposed to be. Like for me, I don't know how I would be today, right? If my parents were overbearing or whatnot, maybe I would have quit the sport, or I would have hated it, or I wouldn't have done as well, you know? But some people maybe need that. I definitely don't need that. So I was very lucky.
Nice.
And you started to be very strong, very young, winning some idly recognized tournament, let's say, in under 14, under 16. How was it for you to be at the top already at that young age, and maybe you have to deal with expectation already?
Well, if I look back during that period, I mean, I was always a very focused individual. Like when I put my mind to something, I will do everything to achieve that. And I do have to thank my mom for that, because she introduced me to, let's say, the other side of life, like the more spiritual side of life, a lot to do with the mental side as well. And from a young age, she would, you know, put books on my bedstand, hoping that I would read it at first. I mean, I was never a big reader, but I saw the effects that it had in her life. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. You know, I'm also taking my career a bit seriously. Okay. So yeah, I started reading more. I started learning more about myself, about my game from a very young age. And all I knew is that I wanted to win. So it was kind of like I would do anything to win. And even back then, I was still getting injured, but maybe not the same as now. The injuries weren't as bad, so I was able to kind of push through them a little bit more. But like, it was like that mindset, like nothing can stop me. And I never thought of expectations necessarily. Like at that age, for me, I just enjoyed playing tennis. Like that was the main thing. And I enjoyed the competition aspect of it. And so, yeah, the wins would just always drive me. And yeah, I was able to also carry that into, you know, 2019 too. I think, you know, people might say, oh, it was like overnight success, but no, I mean, it's, I did play, let's say 10 years prior to that, you know, I know I was young at the time, but it's definitely not overnight.
Yeah,
I think anyone who says overnight success never had any success, right?
Exactly.
There's no such thing as luck in life.
No.
I mean, of
And
course,
you
there's
can
luck, but
create
hard
your own
work,
luck. Yes.
There's no luck without hard work. Then maybe, of course, you need some like luck here and there. But if you don't put the work...
It would be nice
yeah.
for certain things.
Sometimes it's like maybe a little bit of luck now.
I know.
But yeah, you were already there with the talent, with the hard work, with a young title to prove that maybe you were going to make it. And then 2019 happened with already Indian Wells title. Coming from so far in the ranking at the beginning of the year, what was your mentality already at the beginning of the year of 2019? Being 150 or so.
Yeah, I had no expectations because it was my first time really being on tour. I played qualifiers of the tournament in Auckland, so that was like my first real experience. I know I played, you know, Rogers Cup. I would get the wild card, but I knew that year was going to be a bit more consistent in that level. And yeah, it was kind of like, you know, something new, something exciting, no expectations, just going for it and do what I did prior, which is just being all in, focused on my tennis. But I was really enjoying myself too, even during those moments in 2019, because I've had some crazy matches, and obviously with my body too, it was quite difficult. But yeah, it was just that winning mentality. Like I didn't necessarily think that I was going to win, but it was just this I don't give a shit mentality. Like I'm going to do everything I can to do well. And that turned into winning. And it was just this like, domino effect. It was like win. And it was nice. Like you gain confidence from that. I mean, you know how it is. Like when you have a good run, like when you have that confidence, I think it's everything.
Yeah, for sure. And after, like when you start to get the win and the confidence, you feel like so different on court. Like something like the mindset is different, the feeling is different. After there is some specific week where you feel like nothing can happen to you, but that's very rare at the end.
Very rare.
But like the tough matches, like at the end, the key moment is turning in your favor, or you are able to be making the good choice.
Exactly. I think it's the mindset. Like you said, the feelings that you can portray for yourself, because you can kind of fake it till you make it. But in a way, really being in that scenario, like in that winning mentality, and you know, everybody's seeing it, everybody's complimenting you, like you feel good, you know, everyone's talking about you, and you just ride the wave, because that's what I was doing in 2019. I was just riding the wave. I wasn't necessarily thinking about anything other than tennis, like tennis.
Living in the present.
But that's really what I enjoyed. But it's funny because now I feel like I have so many other interests because of let's say everything that's happened in my life, specifically health-wise. I would always try to find different things, how to cope, what to do to help prevent, and I would just go down this rabbit hole. And sometimes my mind can get away from the tennis and I focus too much on the other things, and that's when I get in my head. But 2019 was just like, ooh, like nothing can stop me. It's like the best feeling ever. But like you said, it's rare. But, I mean, you see Nadal doing it. You see Djokovic doing it. It's possible. It's possible.
And in that great wave that you had, when you won US Open, was US Open like a goal or a dream to win one slam?
Definitely a goal, because I knew that I was going to win a Grand Slam for whatever reason. I just had this feeling in me. I remember I won the Orange Bowl in 2015. I think it was the under 18 Orange Bowl. And that was the moment where I said, this is what I want to do with my life. And I wrote myself a check for the US Open after that tournament of the year 2019. It was so random. I heard about Jim Carrey's story of how he wrote himself a check of, I think it was $1 million. And I think like 3 years later, he accomplished that. And I think I read that story before that tournament. It was like, I'm going to do that. Something just came over me. I'm going to do that. I wrote myself a check with the year 2019. And every year I would just cross off the prize money because the prize money kept increasing. So I was like, okay, I gotta keep up. I gotta keep up. Yeah. So I can really make this real. And I don't know, it was just like every day I was just visualizing myself holding that check, holding that trophy. And it was just like this knowing feeling. It was really weird. But obviously when you're in the moment, you're not thinking that it's actually going to happen, right? Like you can only hope. But it happened, so I guess manifestation really works.
And how was the afterwards? Like, does it like your life change, or does like the expectation? Because I guess winning Indian Wells is already a big deal, but it's not as much as winning the US Open. I guess like everyone like in Romania and Canada and all these are like talking nonstop about you. Like journalists are all over the place, fans, maybe even like your family, surrounding team.
Yeah.
Does it start to have a toll, or you're still like, hey, like?
Well, my situation was a bit different just because I got injured during the WTA finals. I had a very bad knee injury. And I completely stopped up until beginning of 2021. So I didn't play for a year and 2 months because of COVID, injuries and all of that. But what's funny is I was ready to play Indian Wells of 2020, but that's when COVID happened. And they told us to go back home. And it's such a weird time because I remember talking to my friend thinking that it was only going to last like, we made a bet. I said it was going to last like 6 weeks. she said 3 months. I mean, it's still going on. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect not to play all of 2020 because of COVID, because the restrictions in Canada were very, very bad. And anyways, yes, after 2019, right after, I was still riding the wave.
Okay.
I felt like I didn't necessarily enjoy it to the fullest. It was hard to really live in the moment because so many things were happening, like interviews, sponsorships, photo shoots, all of this.
Yeah.
I wasn't even able to go back home to Romania to celebrate with my family because my whole family lives in Romania. I wasn't able to see them until 2021. So well, because of COVID as well, right? And my grandparents are very dear to my heart. So that was very tough for me. But you never expect these things to happen. Sometimes you think, oh, it'll just happen, next week or next month or whatnot. But it definitely didn't get to me. I feel like I had a very down-to-earth team at the time, so they kept me very down-to-earth. I never changed as a person when that happened. Maybe I had more confidence in myself, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like the universe kind of took it away from me with the injury.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really like thinking about it now, it's like so hard to go back because I felt so many things the last 5 years, 6 years almost, that sometimes it's like I don't even remember. Yeah, another life, seriously.
And when you were able to come back, you played good quite quickly. And then you got injured again. How was it for you to deal with it? I mean, I guess every time you got injured and you get away for a while, it's always tough to handle, but again, so quickly.
Yeah, for me, it's been quite nonstop. I don't necessarily want to have this narrative of myself, it's like Bianca's always coming back, she's been off for 6 months, oh, another comeback, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's really hard for me because I feel like I'm doing the best I can in that specific moment with my health, right? Like, I know it can also be emotional and all of these things because I had a really tough time in 2021 because of that, because of all the stop and go and not being able to see my family as well because of COVID. That's really hard because I'm very close to them. And so I was quite alone and I felt alone. Because that's also when I took my mental break. Oh my God, I had so many breaks. I had my break in 2021, October to March of 2022. And it's because I felt that tennis was a job and it was something that I had to do, not something that I wanted to do. Because I would keep comparing to how I felt in 2019 and I'm like, this is not right. This is not right. Like, why are you feeling this way? Like, I felt just very fucked up. Can I say that?
Yes, you can.
Like, it was so weird looking back now because my mindset has changed so much since then. I would be crying before going to bed because of the guilt that I was feeling, because so many people, well, this is how I would think, like, so many people would be so grateful to be in that position, like, I'm still top 20, top 30 at the time, even towards the end of the year. I'm playing all these amazing tournaments. I have all these amazing things, but there was something so empty in me. And that's why I took my mental break, because it was also affecting the people around me. And it wasn't fair to them, obviously, but also to me, because it just felt like a chore at that point. And towards the end, I basically wanted to quit the sport. It was that intense. So I said, okay, let's try something else. Let's actually make a choice of stepping away from the sport and see how that goes. Because before, I never made that choice. It was always a must because I would get injured, for instance. And so that was like a very empowering thing for me, like taking life into my own hands.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. Like that time off was incredible. Going back to the spirituality side of everything, I did a few retreats in Costa Rica where, they do a bunch of stuff like meditation, qigong, martial arts, like just holistic things. I've always been very attracted to that. And a lot of charity work. That's the one thing that's always motivated me to come back to tennis after all of these stops, is the fact that I want to inspire others. And I know that I can do that through the sport, whether it's on the court. And I'm sure you feel the same, like when you're doing it for yourself, it's one thing, but when you can help others in a way, it just feels more fulfilling. And whether it's on the court, just showing perseverance, even if you're down, you're still fighting, and you're just giving your best. Like I remember getting messages from little girls, because sometimes I'll look at my requested messages just to look for those messages because I love communicating with them. So good. Yeah.
That's a dangerous business, yes.
Yeah, there are very bad ones. But my agents help out with that, thankfully. And they're like, oh, Bianca, I picked up a tennis racket because of you, like your fighting spirit, your perseverance, even through all these injuries, blah, blah, blah. Like that to me gives me the most joy. And I'm talking a lot. Sorry, guys, but let's keep it rolling.
When you took the break, your like mental health break, did you thought or were you scared that might be it? That maybe after leaving it, you don't want to go back to tennis?
Yeah, I enjoyed my time off a bit too much, I think. But there was always something that kept pulling me back, and I think that's what it is. And also doing the charity work and knowing the impact that I can have. That's the thing that just keeps bringing me back. And I know that I want to achieve good things as well. Like I want to keep winning Grand Slams, becoming number one in the world, like breaking records. That's always the goal too. But the main goal is the other thing.
Okay.
And when you took your break, mental health was still like a complicated topic, let's say in sport especially. I had some tough time also like with tennis and last year. And like after winning my biggest title, I felt as empty as before. And I was like, okay, tennis is not going to fulfill that emptiness. I have to find another way. So why I was doing tennis for so many years. But also I felt like weak about not being able to cope with all the tennis. When you see, you believe that all the other one cope very well with it, which is maybe not an entire truth.
Yeah.
It's like I felt weak to kind of needed to like take a break. And now it's a bit more open discussion about mental health. But how was it for you when you took that decision?
I can totally relate because when you see all these players, playing for years and years and they're still there and you're thinking like, okay, why can't I do that? Like, why am I feeling this way? But like you said, we never know what, these people are going through at the end of the day. But I think everyone's different, obviously, and you have to do what feels right for you. And that's been one of the biggest life lessons for me, is really following my heart and not thinking too much about what other people think. And like I said before, it was a very empowering feeling when I did that, because it was one of the toughest decisions I've ever had to make, right? Because you're making that choice for yourself. Like it's not, like you're injured and you have to stop. It's like, okay, I'm taking a break, right? And it was nice to do that because I think it did help. And I know Naomi Osaka also spoke a lot about mental health during that period as well. I think it helped the conversation a little bit. And I feel like more players too are talking about it as well, which is really nice, because the mental side of everything is, I think, the most important. I think it all starts in your head. The stories you make, the things you believe, et cetera, et cetera. I at the end of the day, you create your own reality.
Yeah.
And that's also another hard look at life, because it's like, okay, I can create my own reality, but why do I feel this way? Because maybe I am doing the right things, right? But why am I still feeling this way? Right? It's like that emptiness feeling, that weak feeling that you have. And everyone's different with how they cope as well. So it's really hard for me to say, okay, this is what you need to do to help and blah, blah. Even I don't know. Like, I feel like nobody knows how to go through life, to be honest.
I mean, especially how old were you back then?
21.
It's like so many things have happened and you're still like a baby, you know, like, so like you still have to develop your like identity as a human being. Like,
exactly. Because my whole identity was tennis, right?
Yeah. And everyone like just sees you as a tennis player. No? So I think it's normal to feel a bit lost, you know, like, because at the end, life is not only about that. So I guess that emptiness feeling, you feel like a bit like, okay, what is wrong with me, right? Why I don't feel fulfilled if everyone thinks I am the luckiest woman on earth, right? It's a tricky situation.
But it's funny with tennis, we grow up so fast and we mature so fast. So it's like, even if we're 21, we are still very mature.
Yeah.
And people just expect us to have it figured out. Like, people, oh my gosh, people really don't understand what athletes in general have to go through, but also that, like, finding your identity at a young age, but only having tennis to go by is so difficult. Like, there's so much more to life, because I was identifying myself too much with the sport and nothing else. And I think that's really tricky at a young age. It really is.
Yeah, I think like when you see like normal people or normal teenagers starting life and everything, like they are trying things out, they are spending time with friends, like finding out who are the good friends for them and how, like, which direction you want to go in your life, which values is going to be important for your heart. But like at the end, when you're like already close in a way of tennis, you see like only tennis people related.
Yes.
And you're not able too much to try it out.
You're not free in a way, right? You were like very successful at something. So it's like, here it is. This is your life, you know, like go with it.
But you have to stay in that line. And if you don't like it, well, you cannot.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what else do you do? And I do have to say, the best learning experiences for me have been off the court. Like, every time I take my break, I learn so much about myself. And it's the most beautiful feeling too, because you feel like you're really growing as an individual. But then you come back on tour and it's like, there's so many things to do, so many things to stress out about. But it's not like you want to stress out about it, but it's like the tour is so fast. It's moving like, and no one's waiting for you, right? Life keeps going on. Like, no one gives a shit about you at the end of the day. And that's another actually great realization that I had is because I cared too much about what people thought. But at the end of the day, everyone will have an opinion, but it's what identity you have about yourself and how you feel about yourself that matters the most. And of course, you're still human. Like, negative comments might still affect you, right? It's only natural. But yeah, I've realized that people don't care. Like, you win a tournament, okay, it's great in the moment, and then it's on to the next.
At the end, you're
even
just
with the
like
losses as well. Like, it's the same.
Yeah. At the end, you're like, for good or for bad, but you're like an entertainer, right? So people will have a very strong opinion for like 1 hour after the match, but then everyone is like so busy thinking about themselves most of the times.
Exactly.
Then it's like, yeah, you're very famous, but you're not that important in a good way, right? Like, so don't carry the world in your shoulders because you're just playing tennis. You know, you're not curing cancer. Me, I always tell her, like,
you always tell me that
you gotta chill a little
try
bit,
to
right?
relax. Yeah, I mean, it's very hard and it's very easy to say someone, hey, just relax. It's just tennis.
I know.
It's bullshit advice, right? Because it's way more complex than that. But
yes, it is.
But from the outside, it's very interesting, right? To see like, hey, you're not curing cancer, you know, like you're not like on a surgery room, like saving someone else's life.
No, it's so true. It's a good perspective to have.
Yeah, but it's very easy to say, right? And then me, probably if I have to stay, I could jump on a call with 10,000 people.
But like, sometimes on the moment, like when we are on court, we believe it's the most important thing ever.
Yes.
I think that's why. Like,
but I think that's also important to feel that way too.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good to take a step back as well and realize that
It's
this
just
is
tennis.
a game.
Yeah.
It's entertaining at the end of it. It's like an entertainer job.
Having a good team around, I guess, it's super important, right? Because if like, I don't know, if your parents, like, they only care about your results, if your husband or whatever, only, you know, he's obsessed on your, then it's very easy to get lost on that way. Yeah.
I've been very lucky with that too. Because my parents, they truly just love me for who I am.
Nice.
Like tennis, no tennis. Even during that time in 2021, telling them was harder than telling my team that I was going to stop because they've invested so much. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to play tomorrow again or ever again, you know, pick up a tennis racket. But they didn't care. Like, of course they cared about how I felt, but they didn't care about that specific thing. Like they said, Bianca, just do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
If you want to, I don't know, become a chef or a waitress or, I don't know, sell something on the street. Like, if you are happy, that's all that matters.
Which at the end seems to be something pretty rare in sports, no? And I think most of people, if they go to their parents, they would be like, why, you know, but you're like so successful, why you want to stop? You're like, blah, blah, you know? And it's like, so it's a blessing that you were able to have like a support system that they prioritize your well-being over success, fame, money, or something else. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I think parents in general just want to see their kid happy. But sometimes the parent might want to live their dream through you, kind of.
Yeah.
And not specifically in the tennis world, but I know some people, or some friends, let's say, that have parents like that. And it's hard. It's really hard.
The thing with like maybe with tennis.
And you can't control that either, right? Like they're your parents.
And tennis being an individual sport, like they have a limited access to like how much they can control you, right? Because if their dream is maybe that you play soccer, you enter a team dynamic. So, you know, they can control, but they're like still from the outside. But tennis at the end is one of these rare sports where like someone who has like no clue on how to play tennis can enter a court, no, and tell you how to do a forehand and tell you how to be a champion. It's like, okay, but what do you know about that, right?
Yeah, it's really weird. I've noticed that as well.
I do.
You know one thing or two.
I can relate. I can tell you that it's not a blessing to have your parents into your career.
Yeah.
But it's also a learning lesson too. I'm sure you learned a lot about yourself too in those moments, no?
Yes, of course. But it's like
it made you appreciate the other side, but also it helped you kind of figure out what you want in life, no? Like looking at the good
I felt
side.
sometimes I was not heard. Like when I was like sharing things or like how I was seeing tennis or how I want to build my team or you know, like last year when I say I had a tough time with tennis and I wanted to take a break, I didn't feel like
supported.
No, not really supported or not listened or like already that maybe before sometimes I had like trust issue with myself and I related too much like on my father especially or like he took too much in hands like my career.
Yeah.
When after like it made me like have issue with my self-confidence. So already when you share something like vulnerable and that it's like tough, you know, like obviously like taking a break it's not an easy decision. It's not
and you had the bravery to actually say something and all you want is just a hug kind of. And you got the total opposite.
The thing is like
relationships are so complex and they are so difficult. You can't control the other person even though maybe you think you can, you know, like putting your beliefs on somebody or just telling them like, no, this is the way, but you don't know how they're going to react at the end of the day, right? You cannot control that. And that's the toughest part for me too, because I've had many relationships that have been difficult to manage in that aspect because I think the most important thing is just understanding each other and not necessarily embedding something in someone's head. It's like, okay, look, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
How can we manage? Like, how can you help support me? You know?
I think you understand that you're
or
there
support each other.
to support that person. Yeah, but in that specific situation, tennis or career, you know, it's how I can support you achieve whatever your goals are. It's not about my goals or my dreams, you know, it's like how I can help or, you know, like the athlete in that situation. It's true, like maybe like fame, money,
it gets
it's addictive. No, and if you don't control your ego and you keep understanding that this is not about me, it can get a bit confusing, right? So
No, for sure.
How did you, when you came back after your mental break, and you build a bit, I guess, your identity outside of being a tennis player, when you came back, how did you see tennis?
I saw it as I'm using tennis as a platform to help inspire others. That was like my motto, and it still is. I'm playing to inspire, basically, because before, yes, I had dreams and aspirations of wanting to help other people and whatnot, but I was playing more for results and myself. That's why I got so obsessed with results. So if I lost, I'm a failure. If I won, I'm the most amazing person. So it was like based on results for me. But then I just shifted the mindset. And even though I would lose, let's say, for me, the most important thing is going out there and inspiring. So going back to what I said as well, like never giving up, always doing your best, showing a good attitude, like all of that. Because at the end of the day, it's also process. Like you can have all the goals you want, but if you don't know how to get there, what's the point? And so the process for me is just that, but enjoying it too. And having good people around you is very important, making it fun and lighthearted, because I can take things quite seriously sometimes. And tennis is the most imperfect sport ever. And I want everything to be perfect, but I have to realize that that's impossible. And I was talking to my coach and physio. I don't even know what to call you now. But we were saying how tennis is a sport for losers. We are losing every single week.
That's crazy.
There's not anybody that's winning every single week, right? And so also realizing that too. But also if you can have a bit more wins than losses, it's always nice, because I think confidence is super important. But yeah, if I can just do my job, that's all that matters. And I still have that, which is really nice. Obviously, I have very bad days sometimes, like everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like now, because of everything that I've been through, I have certain tools that can help me kind of pull myself back to reality and not get drained into the negativity. Because the tour can be dark.
Yeah. It's very dark. And so in the past, when you say like after losses, you were very affected by it, you were like kind of in a depressed mode for a couple of days, or how?
Yeah, it was really bad. I was basically locking myself in my room, not answering anybody's texts. Everybody would be worried about me, and I would just be, crying in my room, contemplating my life. Like, it was that dramatic. And I can laugh now because looking back, it's like, what are you doing? But I had to go through that to feel the way that I do now after losses. Like, now I can talk right after the match with my coach. Obviously, I might not be very clear in my head just yet. But we'll talk a little bit, and then, I'll cool down and we'll talk more after, right? Because also it's important to talk right after the match, because you feel more of what you felt in the moment, because it's, right after the match, right? But I'm able to go to dinner after as well. And just have a constructive talk with whoever it is. And it's nice. It's really nice because, tennis is a game for losers. So imagine being like that every week, with, crying and locking yourself in your room and not, like, the more negativity you have, the more negativity you bring around you, right? It's like the law of attraction.
Yeah, and you were mentioning also, like, to play well, you need to be confident. But like, if you're in that kind of mood, you're never building the confidence. You always go to
You always go
bottom.
back to square one, always.
Even if you had a good, like, 3-4 matches and you lost maybe in the 5th one.
I know. It's putting things in perspective and not forgetting also the work that you put in prior to that. Like, for instance, just an example, let's say my season hasn't started the way I would like, right? Because everybody would like to win. but I have to trust the training that I've had the last 4 months. You know, I know practice is very different than competing, but if I do what I feel in the moment, then I know I'm doing the right thing. Because sometimes I question myself, like, am I doing too much? Am I not doing enough? Should I be doing this instead of that? But at the end, we don't know. Like, we don't know anything. But whatever feels right for me in the moment, I do it. Then I'm okay because I won't regret anything.
Yeah.
And so having that trust, even during the losses, I think will get you back to kind of where you want to be, which is winning more matches and having that energy, right? Because it's also an energetic thing as well with the confidence, right?
Yeah. You have to believe in the process. You have to believe you did a great thing. Sometimes you have to take decision and you have to go for it. You know, it's
You
like
have to, yeah.
You never know what is going to happen. And the good thing also with tennis is like things can go quickly with some good couple of matches here and there in one tournament.
It could take one match, honestly.
Yes.
And
one good
everything
week is
can
career
change.
defining, which is also a blessing of this sport, no? Because other sports, it takes like Olympic guys and stuff, it's like 4 years for one day. And if that day is not good, like here you can do a terrible season, but you do like a good week.
Yeah.
Like...
Everything clicks in one moment. It really does.
So
and
keeping
we
that
have the
faith
opportunity.
and keeping that hard work, regardless if you're losing, it's probably the good strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like you went through many injuries, and sometimes did you feel like unlucky?
I think unlucky is an understatement. I
don't know the word for the less unlucky one.
No, I felt terrible because I thought there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with, I don't know, my body, my mind, my emotional state. Like every time I would get hurt, I would question everything, and I would feel like I'm going back to the beginning, basically, right? Like you lose your fitness. And in the moment, I'm very sad. So, you know, I'll start eating a lot because that's my coping mechanism. And then you gain weight. And it's like a roller coaster effect that we were talking about, right? And just getting out of that rut for me has always been the toughest. But the more I stop, the more I kind of know what to do if something happens. Like, for instance, I had appendix surgery in February of this year, and something like that you can control, you know? So I had to take it as it is. Because I was getting ready for Indian Wells in Miami. I was super excited. I know I skipped Australia and Dubai, Doha, but I was literally 5 training days in, and this shit happened, you know? So sometimes the way I like to think is everything happens for a reason. And the universe is giving me a gift in some unexpected way and whatever. But the universe really did, because I maybe would find like a specific person that maybe I wouldn't have found regarding, I don't know, nutrition or fitness or whatever it is, and speak to that person. Like, for instance, I met somebody in Monaco during that time of, you know, my recovery that, you know, is in my life now. That I learned so much from, and, you know, like little things like that. And my health, I'm taking it to a whole other level now. In a way, I know I'm still young, kind of. I'm 25 this year. But looking at everybody else, you know, you feel old. I don't even know how you feel. I don't even want to know how you feel. But
thank you for...
Time is ticking. It really is, though, right? Like, the years go by, and, you know, 2019 was great. I thought I would be winning Grand Slams every year. You know, that hasn't happened. But it's like, yeah, time is ticking, and I feel like I'm, like, super laser focused. I'm tunnel vision more than I ever have been. And it's all because of these breaks. And it's a beautiful feeling for me. So, yeah. I don't know where I was going with this, but I'm just happy now, like really, really happy.
Yeah.
And when you're on tour, do you feel like mentally fresh, or you feel like you live like to life already?
So every time I do come back, I feel mentally fresh. But even after a few matches, it starts to become draining.
Yeah.
Because off the court, I'm dealing with all of these injuries, but there's not necessarily pressure for anything. Like when you're on court, right? There's so many things you start thinking about and things you can control. But when I was away from the sport, I was able to, control my environment and like what I'm eating. Like I was at home. I haven't been home in 3 months, or I haven't been home because I was home for 3 months. I haven't been home for that long in such a long time. And so, coming back is definitely a reality check. Like, sometimes I think, did I make the right decision by coming back again? Like, I don't know sometimes. Because, it can get a lot. But now that I have an amazing coach, physio, whatever, Kanti, he's over there. He's kind of doing
like
a
an
bit of
agent,
everything.
kind of.
He's kind of doing a bit of everything for me, but
Nice.
we just make it fun.
Yeah.
That's what's really helping me even through, the last little bit. It's just keeping things fun, keeping things fresh, like even the practices, like laughing a lot, like doing different drills, not make things boring, like not take things so seriously sometimes. I think that's very important for me. And so he's helping a lot with that. Like we're playing a lot of card games. We're going to dinners almost every night. Like having that different interaction is always nice. And I think that's going to help me a lot.
Yeah, I think
I haven't had that. This is like the first time where I really have this. So
enjoyment is efficiency at the end, right? Because when you like doing things, if they're the right things, you want to do them more and more. No? So if you're able to enjoy practice, you want to spend 4 hours in practice instead of 1, right?
Exactly.
If practice is like a nightmare, it's like, okay, let's get it done as soon as we can.
It's sticking to
So I think we had
know.
Darren Cahill in the episode, and with Agassi and his physio, fitness coach, they had this saying, I love this, like playing the work, working the play. And and I loved it.
That.
It's like try to make everything fun, and then
because if you don't enjoy the process, that's when everything goes.
And even if you fail, but you enjoy the process, maybe you won at the end, right? Because sometimes
because you actually enjoy life. Like
when she was going through tough times, I was like, I don't know if I even want you to win something big, right? Because like, what's the point on winning like a slam if you've been fucking miserable for 6 months? Like every day is like, of course you have to work hard. Of course, sometimes there's moments where you need like to step up and go through suffering, but like you have to enjoy what you do. Like, and some people can't, right? If you were born in Africa and you have nothing, you have to go through like a complicated life, and but when you can choose, like finding something or finding how to make it fun, it's gonna help you get there.
Well, I mean, going back to what you said about like you can have all the success in the world.
Yeah.
I think this is where what you were saying, like you can have all the success in the world, but if you don't love what you do, then what's the point? You can have all the money you want.
I don't think it's success.
The houses, the car, whatever.
Me, when I see these players super like successful with trophies, but they have a miserable life, it's like, okay, like maybe it's success for you, but that's like, for me, it's failing.
100%.
And like what is more sad is that they don't even know that they're failing in life,
Exactly.
It's like,
I mean, to a certain extent, there's so many celebrities that, you think they're super happy or whatnot. And then, I mean, as dark as it is, they commit suicide because they're just not happy. And it's funny because people think that because we're in the spotlight, right? We're on social media, we're on TV, whatever. They think that our life is so amazing, which of course it is because we're very privileged. But they need to understand we are also human. We're not just this celebrity playing tennis or whatever.
A dark side of it.
Yeah.
I think it was Jim Carrey, who said, I wish everyone could be like famous and rich so they would understand that doesn't change anything, right?
So
and
they don't become famous and rich.
Being in this privileged situation makes it hard because nobody wants to understand you, right? Because if you complain, it's like, oh yeah, poor woman, it's like, come on, like, a nice hotel, it's nice. But if you're not happy and fulfilled, it's not going to change your life, right? Like money, success, maybe it makes your life better when
easier
it's good already.
In many ways, for sure.
But if you have a bad life and maybe you have those things, it's going to maybe even make it worse because you will have even more doubts and emptiness inside.
But just speaking about that, because I want to go back to relationships. If you can't also share it with the people that you love, like
What's the point?
What's the point, right? And that's why I always go back to wanting to inspire, because if I can inspire even just one person or make just one person smile by signing an autograph or taking a picture, I mean, that's success too in some way. You have to find the success in little things like that. Just being a good person at the end of the day. That's all you can do.
And you can live with that, no? If you try your best every
if you
day,
try your best,
you can sleep at night, no, knowing that you tried your best. That's good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Excited for the new season?
I am. Yes, I've been working really hard, and I'm just really excited to see what I can do with this new Bianca. Let's say I say that every time I come back, but it's true. I'm so different than when I was. Even just a month ago, you know, it's like this continuous evolving process. Obviously, it's like you go up a bit, but you go down a bit, but then you go up a lot. And then it's like, but I feel like a lot of people stop or give up when they go down, even just a little bit. But I feel like that's when the most success happens or the most fulfillment. And so, I'm kind of like in this wave, but a little bit down, and now I'm just kind of waiting for that little spike.
But walking out for it and believing in it.
Yes, having faith is number one.
That's nice.
Do you set up your goals like results oriented, like a specific rank or achievement in a tournament, or you just go?
I used to do that. Not anymore. I mean, the bigger picture is winning Grand Slams and becoming number one in the world.
But that's more like maybe like a dream than I will consider no?
Like more process goals, you mean?
Yeah.
So in my head, I would love to finish this year as top 100.
Okay.
I want to be more kind to myself, because before I was a bit more strict, and when that wouldn't happen, you know, I would get too down on myself. So I think top 100 is a good goal. And I would like to make semifinals of a tournament. You know, I don't even remember the last time I did. So semifinals would be nice. Well, last year I did pretty well, actually. I made finals of one tournament, but having that consistency of winning like 2-3 matches kind of every tournament would be good. Nice. I would really appreciate that.
That's nice.
It's true. Sometimes when you have to lose on first round, it feels like your life is like you lose, you go travel, you lose again. Give me, I need some good emotions to keep.
I know,
Jenny's,
to
give
keep
me
going.
Something. Yeah,
give me something at one point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think also going back to process goals. I do a lot of meditations and visualizations, and I feel like I can attach myself too much to the outcome. And so surrendering a little bit and just letting things be how they're supposed to be, because I could maybe want to win a Grand Slam this year, you know, but maybe it's just not my time. And I know we have this thing, well, I actually said it, we can create our own reality, but sometimes it's just a timing thing. Sometimes it's just not meant to be in that moment. And maybe I have to wait another year or two. Hopefully I don't. But, you know, it can also kind of be like that. So I'm just really going with the flow. That's definitely one of my process goals. And just giving my best.
Yeah, try to control what you can control at the end, right? And if that ends up happening, like it ends up bringing you what you thought, great. But if not, at least you have the peace of mind that, okay, I did what I could.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's true. You can love tennis, but if tennis doesn't love you back.
Sometimes you need to send you a little bit like something, you know, like
I think it was Chris Eubanks when we asked him. He was like, "I love tennis, but like now it's his time to love me back a bit." You know, like,
that's so funny.
I cannot keep going if he doesn't love me. You know, like, I need something from him now. The way he said it was
so
amazing.
Funny. Actually,
sometimes it feels like you need a sign. You know,
a sign. Like, give me at least, I don't know. Yeah, whatever it is, just even winning a match, just one match.
Cannot be a one-sided relationship. Doesn't work.
Yeah, because even last year, like I think I lost first round like 3 times or 4 times in a row. And I was still like really enjoying it. I was like, yeah, this is great. But then the 5th time, I was like, guys, come on. What's going on? Give me a little bit of something.
Yeah, true.
But I totally understand that. And it's not an easy life that we chose, but it's definitely worth it. It's very addicting, though. the winning feelings that you can have, that's like some of the best euphoria ever. But then the losses can also be so bad. So sometimes you just question everything. Like it's really, how can you make it work day in and day out? Because some days can be really, really tough.
Do you think winning the US Open that early in your career, it's kind of makes it trickier? Because of course now it's easy for you to compare always to that big emotion. As you say, no, it's like these emotions are like a track.
Thing. Yeah.
And you're always comparing like to the highest drag you could ever feel, no? To winning a slam. So maybe that makes it like hard, no?
Yeah, because I only can compare myself to then, because that's kind of like reaching the peak of tennis kind of, right? And when I don't have those results, it's quite tough. So having patience, I think that's another one of my life lessons, is very important. I have many life lessons, but I think that's definitely one of them, because I want everything right now. But I'm sure it's like that with most tennis players. I mean, it's just the sport that brings that out of you, like the competitiveness of the sport. And so having that patience is super important for me. And just not forgetting why I started playing tennis, right? It's a beautiful sport at the end of the day. And I truly, well, now I can say that I really enjoy it, but going back to that innocence, like in a way, ignorance is bliss. When you don't know so much, you don't necessarily get into your head about things. Like now I have to worry about this person or this sponsor, or, you know, how is this person going to feel? You know, how's my social media doing? You know, like little things like that just pop into your head, right?
That's why you have a coach that does everything, right? So like keep it simple.
I mean, I can add another thing, but I think he's had enough.
You will not find him.
He's like my emotional support. He's my bodyguard. He's sometimes carrying so many things, because we travel with a lot. We have like 7 luggages. But
wait. Yeah, 7 with the 2 of you?
2 of us.
Yeah, well,
it's worst.
No.
It's much worse.
Worse than, do you complain about her?
She goes,
How many do you travel with?
4 in a lucky week.
What? Okay, that's a lot actually.
Okay, because
I have 3.
You go. They carry on the weekender. Sometimes 2 big ones and the rackets. It can be 5.
Okay.
And then the one
we do travel a lot, so you have to cut us some slack.
No,
we travel a lot.
Yeah.
And we change shoes many often.
How many shoes do you travel with?
Well, lately I'm traveling with my shoes, but I don't use them.
Right, because you're not playing. Oh man, sometimes I used to travel with like 8 pairs of shoes, but I was like, no.
You travel with 8 sometimes.
I have to cut it. No, more tennis shoes is what I'm saying. I used to travel with a lot.
Yeah, with a lot of tennis shoes. I try, like, on clay court, as I don't like to slide. Like, to slide too much, because I am a very bad slider. I try to change it as soon as it gets a bit old, you know?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to, like, slip, because I'm not very good on that surface sometimes. But, yeah, it's exaggerating.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But going back, it's true, like, traveling, like, in a small team, it's nice. It can help
it's
things.
really nice.
Me, sometimes when I see these teams of 12 persons, sometimes like this is so stressful. Like,
even 4. I had a big team a few years ago, and it can get very chaotic too, because I want everybody to feel really comfortable in the team, or like whoever's around me. And so sometimes I scatter my energy too much. So it's like I have to explain this to this person, that person. And a lot of the times just managing that, because everybody has different personalities. So
it's like a company at the end,
Yeah, you're the CEO of a company, right?
On top of playing tennis every day.
No, us tennis players, we have to deal with a lot, because we have to take care of everything. I mean, we're paying for everything. We're dealing with, obviously, our emotions, but then, at least me, I'm a self-diagnosed empath. I feel a lot of what other people feel. So if the people around me, you know, feel a certain way, like it's like I have to make it right somehow, even though obviously that's not in my control, but that's just how I am as a person. It can be a lot. So having one person is great, but I don't know how great it is for him because he's freaking busy.
I think it was Collins. I asked her once, like, what she was without coach that week, and she was like, "I have enough handling myself, you know. Like, I don't think I can handle a coach. You know,
no, that's exactly.
It's already enough inside here, you know."
Exactly. I don't blame her.
No, so I think it's great, this idea of keeping it like lean and like small team that you can trust a lot.
Yes,
and you
trust
feel
is very important.
More able to be yourself or get emotional. Like if you're in a group of
It's more
5, it's like
intimate.
Next episode, we need to bring your coach and ask him if it's as great as you're saying it is.
You know, I know what question you're going to ask me at the end. And one of the people I was going to say was my coach. He would be amazing for this, but you will interrogate him. But he loves me. I know he loves me, and I love him.
Probably it's first ever like coach, physio, psychologist on tour. So it's worth having.
Right? It's the first.
Once in a lifetime experience.
Oh, man, the stories he can tell you. But we'll keep it politically correct.
We'll give you the censorship rights for the after, like the editing.
Perfect.
You know? All the crap, you can take it out after.
The stuff we go through.
Yeah. And the stuff we go through also as we're little saints.
I know, you guys, I always say,
I'm joking.
I could not, no, you are. Because I always tell him, and even my parents, like, I'm sorry for what you have to deal with. Because it's a lot, because they can't do anything when you're on the court. You
I'm
know
sorry,
what I mean?
I'm being so emotional.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, I even apologized for my match in Vic to him because my attitude was absolute dog shit. And I was like, I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Because he's like pumped up, and I'm just there like, this is not my day. Like, I didn't give up, obviously, but it's like, he said, he always says, he's like, I wish I could come on court with you to, like, you know, actually, I don't know, do something, you know, but it's tough. But you guys, I have a lot of respect for you. And especially if you're not here too, like watching at home or on the phone.
Yeah, it's true sometimes. I mean, I try to stay outside of the tennis as much as I can. But when you see the person you love, like out there suffering and you can do nothing, it's very frustrating. Me, sometimes I'm like, just get out, you know, like I don't care about the fucking tennis. Like, I don't want to see
I just want you to be okay.
You know, right?
No, but
okay.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
Shit, if I can do that, oof. I could say a lot. It's hard to put myself in my shoes, obviously, from back then. But what I've learned is it's better to experience things rather than necessarily giving advice, because I've gotten all the advice in the world. And of course, some things might resonate with you, some things might not. But if you don't go through that certain thing, like, I'm bringing the example, like being away from the sport, for instance, like, you don't grow the same appreciation for the sport maybe if I didn't have those breaks. So it's hard. It's a very hard question.
Okay, let's change it. What advice would you give to a younger kid that is trying to make it in tennis?
Okay. Well, I can also say a very similar thing, but let's go with believe in yourself. I think that's super important. Having that identity, and if that identity is, you know, playing tennis or I don't know, becoming a doctor or whatever it is, creating goals for yourself in that aspect and knowing your priorities, I think, is very important. But above all else, having fun and enjoying life is, I think, number one. Because I think if you don't have that enjoyment, everything becomes very dull. And celebrating the small wins, I think sometimes we don't necessarily savor the moment. So savoring the moment is very important as well. and finding good people around you. And that can definitely be a process and an experience thing.
Yeah.
But if you can have, good people around you that support you, truly care about you, I think is very important.
I
Awesome.
really like it.
That's good advice.
Yes.
That's a pretty good
Thank
one.
you.
Who would you like to listen in the podcast next?
Antonio Cantisano.
Okay, deal.
Yes. No, for real though. We did a bit of an interview today with the WTA and he did amazing.
Okay.
So
Good job.
Nice.
I think he has a lot of knowledge to share and a different perspective of life. So him, and I would say Kim Kleisters.
It's coming a lot lately.
Yeah.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
I think like out of the last 5 episodes, maybe 3 persons said
Yes.
Kim. So
Amazing.
All right.
Let's
Get
get it
that
done.
going. She has been one of my idols from a young age. And yeah, I think she will have a lot of good stuff to share as well.
Nice.
We'll do. We
Okay.
have to work on that one.
Awesome. Thank you,
I
Bianca,
have her
so
contact.
much.
I can help.
Okay, let's get okay.
Yeah, I'm not close with her, but we have communication, so I can help out.
Yeah, any good any good feedback to you can send to her?
Ah,
It's
perfect.
truly appreciated.
Yeah.
And with your coach, the same.
I'll figure that out. It might be hard to get him on camera, but
I don't think
he
he's
might
that
charge
shy.
for a fee. I don't know, but
We have a
no,
limited
we'll
budget.
figure it out.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Bianca. It's been an
guys.
honor. Yeah, appreciate it.
fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next episodes. And it will mean the world to me if you can share this episode with someone you think will enjoy it. Thank you and see you soon!